Hey, Martin here. Now, Venus and Mars in their current state are pretty bad places. You wouldn't last a second on Venus, and even if you last the longest on Mars, that'd only be a minute and a half. But it wasn't always like this. Both planets were once like Earth. Well, Earth when it was like Venus and Mars. Earth 1 billion years ago was mainly oceans, but what land there was barren and inhabited by unicellular organisms. The oceans are basically the same thing. It was only inhabited by unicellular organisms, but wet. Both planets had oceans at some point in time. That was until, for some reason or the other, they lost it. This doesn't go without saying it is possible that life still exists on either of these planets, just in totally different situations than on Earth. Anyway, the reason neither Venus or Mars has water both involve the sun in some way or the other. I'll start out with the most interesting one, Venus. Now, every 100 million years, or half of a cyberpunk development cycle, Venus undergoes a resurfacing event, and around 750 million years ago, the event underwent across the entire planet. Wait, that sounded familiar. Anyway, the rocks in the process released loads of carbon dioxide around the planet. So basically, imagine global warming on Earth, but multiplied by 10, to the power of 7. So it could only hold on to its remaining water for so long before it evaporated under the intense heat. Due to Venus's proximity to the sun, even more light was trapped under the massive layers of carbon dioxide than on Earth. This heated up the planet so much that it became the hottest planet in the solar system, despite only being the second. Studies show it's very possible life still exists in the upper atmosphere of Venus, where phosphine could be the main basis of life. Either that life formed after the disaster, or more likely, life evolved to become aerial before the surface became totally uninhabitable. This story is by far the most unfortunate, as simply one factor in the nature of Venus led to this event. As for Mars, though, it's not as avoidable. The story of Mars is much less cooler. Well, actually, it's more cooler, and more just sad. Mars is strikingly similar to Earth. Besides its size, it's in the habitable zone. It is neither too cold or too hot. It has weather and ice caps, and you'll survive the longest of any planet in the solar system, besides Earth. Now, in order to keep water in its liquid form, you need an atmosphere. Unfortunately, Mars happens to not have that. This is because its lack of a magnetic field. Around 4 billion years ago, or possibly sooner, its core solidified, leading to the magnetic field deactivating. This gave solar wind no constraints on how much it wanted to dropkick Mars' atmosphere. Imagine if this hadn't happened. We could have 3 worlds harboring life. Imagine looking up into the sky and seeing 2 other blue and green planets. Well, the oceans could be whatever color they wanted. The color of plants really depends on the sun's type. Our sun causes plants to be green. One like Kepler-186, for example, gives Kepler-186f red plants. There's a very long explanation for this, but essentially different suns radiate the most of a certain color. That color is reflected off the most, so the plants appear that way. This is ridiculously oversimplified because it's really hard to explain. Life on Venus wouldn't be too different than on Earth. They'd be better adapted to hotter, more wet environments. As for Mars, it'd be similar to colder environments here on Earth. Large open plains where grazers wander. The grazers in question will adapt to the gravity-weak environments and would probably be skinnier and taller, among other attributes. It is possible intelligent life could form on all 3 planets, just not at the same time. I mean, it's not impossible, just highly improbable. Although what may happen is how they impede each other's progress. Let's say the Venusians were first. Most likely way before humans and Martians evolve. They would become the first spacefaring organism and most likely colonize both planets before a bunch of monkeys smash rocks together and some, I don't know, octopi do the same. Taking this in, it's much better that we live in a solar system without competition. But unfortunately we don't have exotic rich ecosystems only 6 months away from us. Those on a level which we had never seen before. I don't think we understand how different life on other planets will be. There's already insane animals here on Earth. Imagine those on other planets. It would be alien to us. I'm crippling dead. And that's it. I've been trying a different style for this video, and most likely goes onwards. I believe my topics should be more unique and less known. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video.